grave just like this, delivering a heartfelt eulogy, will not be happening anytime soon. Why? Well, take a look.
My daughter is a manipulator and a pathological liar. 2 years ago, my daughter began a crusade of lies that has devastated me. I got a phone call that no parent ever wants to hear. Lynn told me she had carcinoid stomach cancer. She does not have cancer. I was in shock. She told me she had been to the hospital and they found 2 tumors in her stomach. At that point, I told my daughter that I was her biggest fan and I would do whatever it took to get her the help that she needed. My next step was to go with my daughter to see her doctors and come up with a game plan. But then there were no appointments scheduled, and it made me wonder why. I was discussing the situation with my family, and we decided that I should probably get a power of attorney. The power of attorney would give me the ability to get all the answers I needed to help her. Lynn agreed to it. When I finally got a hold of the medical records, I come to find that there is no diagnosis of cancer, and I couldn't believe it. I found out that Lynn had a GoFundMe page, and when I saw it, my heart dropped to my stomach. The page was full of lies. Lynn continues to say that she has cancer and that she is dying, and I have yet to see proof. I am so crushed and devastated by this whole situation. I don't even know what to say. Why would she do this?
Is it possible that you're in denial? I mean, whose mother wants to hear that their child has cancer? Is it possible you're in denial?
No.
Is it possible that you got involved and you're so overbearing and so meddlesome and so irritating to the doctors that they just blew you off and didn't want to tell you the truth?
No, that's absolutely false.
Because that's what she says, that you are going to cause her to die because you got involved and drove her doctors away, and now they won't treat her, and she's going to die of cancer, and you're going to live with it for the rest of your life.
Well, first of all, I do not believe that my daughter has cancer. She told me that I was irritating the doctors because they were seeing her under the radar because she didn't have medical insurance.
What does that mean, they're seeing her under the radar?
She told me that they were seeing her without insurance. And so they weren't going to publish anything to her records because they didn't want to be sued.
So that doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make sense to me.
If you're not in denial, if you're not causing all of this to be under the radar, if it's not you, then it's her. So she's either a manipulative con artist or she is seriously delusional. What's your vote?
I would say she's seriously delusional.
Do you think she believes she's ill?
I believe that she honestly, truly believes that she's dying of cancer.
You think she believes she's got cancer?
Yeah.
She also says she has serious heart disorder.
She doesn't have serious heart disorder.
Says she's got to have surgery. Look, Lynn is here. She says it sickens her even more that her mother doesn't believe she is gravely ill and could be dying from cancer. Take a look.
My mom does not believe that I'm dying. She got some of my medical records, and because she didn't find the word cancer in those papers, she said that I didn't have cancer. She was pretty much calling me a faker. She wanted to talk to every single doctor and control my appointments. My mom's behavior was totally disruptive with the doctors. Doctors don't like trauma at all. Most of them stopped seeing me after she became involved. I feel that my mom ruined my chances of getting my cancer treated. I could die, and if that were to happen, my mom would not be able to live with herself.
Well, Lynn has not seen her mother in nearly a year, but she is here today. So, Lynn, please join us. Lynn, Dr. Phil.
Nice to
How are
meet
you?
you.
Have a seat right here. Lynn, good to meet you. You haven't seen your mother in like a year.
Yeah.
How do you feel about seeing her now?
Okay.
How do you feel about seeing your daughter?
I miss her.
But you're upset with her.
I'm angry, mad, frustrated. I want her to come clean. I think she's seriously mentally ill.
You have stomach cancer, correct? You said you were diagnosed with a carcinoid stomach cancer, and you had 2 malignant tumors that were found. They were small but very aggressive, correct?
I'm not sure how aggressive, but yeah.
And you say now you said you had fear at the time that it would spread, and now, in fact, there is a tumor on your uterus, and so that obviously is bad. Why does your mother not believe you?
I don't know. My mom hasn't believed me for most of my life about many things.
You also say you have a serious heart problem that requires surgery. Why have you not had the surgery?
Well, I've had 2 procedures. I've had 2 ablations done. I need more surgery, maybe a pacemaker.
You have a stomach cancer. It's now metastasized to other organs of your body, and you have a heart problem, and you haven't seen a doctor in a year. What the hell?
I know. I'm terrified. I'm totally terrified. I'm like paralyzed with fear.
You just heard Lynn say it's not only cancer that's slowly killing her, her heart is too. She insists only 20% of her heart is still working after years of trauma. Mom says this too is a flat-out lie and just another cry for sympathy. We'll talk about that after the break.
I suffer from depression, anxiety, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome.
My daughter indicated that she had major heart problems and that she needed a pacemaker. Cancer is just one of many medical lies.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. On heroin.
She's OD'd 16 times!
He's been a devil. I just want to throttle him.
What can they do?
Do you think he loves you?
I do.
Taking you into a dingy motel room and sharing drugs, that's not loving you.
What can they say
Do you get it? Do you want help?
to get her back?
I will help you only if you look her in the eye and say, this is done.
Tomorrow. Then on Friday. From living large to living in his parents' garage.
You're not working.
I'm on unemployment.
You sleep all day.
He's working and you're not? What is wrong with you people?
That's Friday. Stalked by a
I am fearful every night when I go to sleep that tomorrow I'm going to be ill and find out I don't have much longer. I never in a million years thought that I would be this young, facing so many things.
From multiple trips to the emergency room, to excruciating pain, to barely being able to eat, even function, Lynn says this is her tragic reality because of multiple life-threatening ailments and illnesses, including cancer and heart disease. Now, Lynn's mother, Mary, doesn't buy any of this. She says, I don't believe a damn bit of it. She says her daughter purposely makes herself appear sick, and when that doesn't get attention, she makes up even more medicine. Take a look.
The cancer diagnosis that Lynn claims that she has is just one of many medical lies. My daughter indicated that she had major heart problems and that she needed a pacemaker.
I know in order for me to get chemo, I might possibly need a pacemaker.
Lynn does have atrial fibrillation, but it can be managed through medication.
The biggest fear with my heart is having a stroke or dying or becoming physically paralyzed.
When you look at Lynn, you would think that she was dying. She's gaunt. She's got dark circles under her eyes. She's always hunched forward. She is 100% the victim, 24/7.
I suffer from depression, anxiety, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome. severe migraines. Once I get a severe migraine, I'll start to vomit, and because of some of my other problems that I have, the vomiting won't stop. Then my heart starts to go, and then it's an ambulance ride.
She thrives on the negative attention because if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not the rheumatoid arthritis, it's the ulcer. If it's not the ulcer, it's her female parts. If it's not her female parts, it's her heart.
I'm anemic and I have a potassium deficiency. I'm allergic to MSG. People have said that I'm anorexic.
She's had cysts on her ovaries removed, and I believe that she had one of her ovaries removed. Lynn told me that she was being put on forced menopause and that she was going to have a hysterectomy. But then she had a fourth child. She told me it was a miracle.
She was my miracle baby.
If you don't have a uterus, you're not having a baby.
Are you lying?
No, I know.
Or are you lying to yourself?
No.
Did you put up a GoFundMe page to raise money
For Christmas, for my children.
for your children? The page that you put up, and I blurred the faces of the children. You said, "Hello, my name is Lynn Marie. I'm a loving mother of 7 beautiful children." Now, Mom, you had a comment on that.
She doesn't have 7 children. She has 4, 2 of which don't live with her.
Do you have 7 children, or do you have 4 children?
I gave birth to 4, but with my fiance we have 7.
How many live with you?
4.
How many live with her?
2 is what I'm aware
2
of.
of my own birth children, but 4 children total live with me.
But you said 7. 2015 will be filled with surgeries and treatments for me and uncertainty for my children. You just said you hadn't been to the doctor in a year.
I was expecting to have insurance in February, and I was going to be doing everything that I needed to be doing.
All I want for Christmas is to give my children the most beautiful and magical holiday full of memories they can always keep should something happen to me. Or memories we can holiday before our whole worlds change. As of right now, our situation is very dismal and grim due to hospital bills and so much time taken off dealing with figuring out what was going on with my health.
She doesn't have to take time off work because she doesn't have a job.
Is that true?
No, I don't have a job, but I do have a fiance that works.
And as of the first of the year, I will begin fighting to save my life. Was this honest? You said 7 children.
I am a mother of 7 beautiful children. I am. I mother all of them in some way, some form or another, even if they're not in my home at that moment.
How much money did you raise?
$80, but it wasn't about the money at all.
Well, it says up here that you were trying to raise $3,500.
I just put a generic figure.
$3,500 is pretty specific. Are you embarrassed of your daughter?
I'm embarrassed right now with the situation. It's embarrassing
She's
to be in this
often
position.
embarrassed of me, often.
You think this was a rip people off?
I believe she had rent to pay.
All I got was $80. I didn't push that page. As soon as Cheryl started downgrading me on Facebook, I didn't push that page anymore at all because I knew how much of embarrassment it was to you.
Well, Cheryl, that they're referring to as Mary's best friend, she says that she's tired of sitting back and watching Lynn abuse Mary's motherly love and con innocent people into believing she's sick. Well, we're going to add her to the conversation after the break.
A few months ago, I opened up my Facebook and saw the GoFundMe page. I right away knew that she didn't have cancer. There was a comment section. I posted, "Lynn, you don't have cancer."
Your sister lived.
We almost got fired from our jobs because of what you posted.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
plus exes at war,
He says you are keeping his children from him.
fighting each other,
He was kicked out after he threw me through the wall.
You pushed me, I pushed you back.
You grabbed my throat, and then I grabbed
I
your
didn't
throat.
grab your throat.
and fighting for custody.
You did coke while you were with her?
Yes, sir. After the kids were put to bed.
It all happens
What if this is a changing day in your life?
this February on Dr. Phil.
I'm Maurice Dubois at 5. We're getting new details on a fiery...
She is suffering from numerous medical conditions, including but not limited to stomach cancer, serious heart disease, uterine cancer, and rheumatoid arthritis in her spine. She also has claimed at one point to have had a hysterectomy and an ovary removed, which forced her into early menopause. But her mother, Mary, says she doesn't believe any of this. Well, Mary's best friend, Cheryl, says she is tired of Lynn pulling at her mother's heartstrings and is sickened that Lynn has taken her sob story public, trying to con people out of money online.
Lynn is making this whole cancer story up. I've known Lynn for a long time. I really think she's playing the sympathy card. I think she enjoys that attention. A few months ago, I opened up my Facebook and saw the GoFundMe page. I right away knew that she didn't have cancer. There was a comment section. I posted, "Lynn, you don't have cancer." I was hoping I could stop anybody from donating money. I don't think she received any more than $80. It would almost be easier for me to think that she had a mental health issue than it would be to think that she was just conniving to take money from people.
What do you think's going on here?
I first want to say I love you,
I used to think so.
but I do think
You say you used to think so?
Yeah,
But you question that now?
yeah.
if I saw proof that she had cancer, I would apologize profusely. But I don't believe you have it.
Well, you believed this for a long time. When she told you this, you shut your life down, shut your world down. What did you do?
I committed the next 6 months to gathering information and trying to get her to go to follow through with the doctors.
Did she respond when you told her?
She did respond.
She helped. She came to your aid.
She made me sign power of attorney. A lot of these things that I'm hearing through this is so not true. I never said that I had a hysterectomy. I wish I could have a timeline so I could go through, because her timeline is very wrong.
I did put together a timeline, and because I wanted to know what was in the record. And we asked you for medical records, right? Mm-hmm. Numerous times we said, please give us your medical records.
Oh, well, she didn't really say that I needed to get my medical records here.
No. I'll bring the entire production team out here. We requested that you give us your medical records. And you produced not one
No, I have a lot of
piece
things
of
in my
paper.
bag. I was supposed to give it to Elise. I still have a lot of paperwork and stuff in my bag.
We got them. We have them.
Okay.
But we wanted you to have the opportunity to give them to us.
Oh, okay. Well,
But you didn't give them. She does have your power of attorney, so she was able to procure the medical records. So we do have them, but you refused to give us any medical records at all.
No, I didn't refuse.
Did you give us any medical
No, I
records?
did not.
Did you produce one piece of paper?
I did not.
For example, here's what you told us. You said you were admitted on June 18th of 2012 and discharged on 6/25 of 2012. You said the admitting diagnosis was intractable vomiting, and on the discharge summary notes that there was significant evidence of obstruction. The ultrasound of the abdomen revealed a large mass, that the pathology of gastric biopsy revealed malignancy, and the discharge instruction was chemotherapy. That's what you told us.
Okay.
Well, you're knitting your brow as though you are confused. These are...
No, I said those things, but I didn't say it in that way. I mean, I told the story, but I never said there was an obstruction.
The most important thing is gastric biopsy revealed malignancy. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's what you told us. We got the actual discharge summary. You weren't there for 7 days, you were there for 4 days. There was the diagnosis of intractable vomiting. The x-ray of the abdomen, there were no dilated loops, no evidence of obstruction. There were no evidence of focal hepatic lesions or gallstones. The pathology of the gastric biopsy, no malignancy seen. There was no, you don't have stomach cancer.
I've been to the ER many times for the same reason, so.
Yeah, we have them all.
Okay.
And listen, this is great news.
Yeah. No, it is. Is that what you're telling me?
This is great news. There was a biopsy done. They said no malignancy. She says her left ovary has been removed.
I thought that one of my ovaries had been removed.
Both ovaries confirmed by Doppler.
I don't understand.
Closed captioning provided by... Okay, you're there on 6/14/2012. You tell the doctor, at that point, you tell the doctor that you had a hysterectomy 2 weeks ago.
I think I said partial, but I've never said I had a hysterectomy. I've never had a hysterectomy.
You didn't tell him partial, you said hysterectomy.
Well, I didn't mean hysterectomy.
And partial means the uterus. They leave the ovaries, but they take the uterus. Let's just listen to your words. Let's listen to this.
And now I'm dealing with a malignant tumor on my uterus. And now I'm dealing with a malignant tumor on my uterus. And now I'm dealing with a malignant tumor on my uterus.
You don't have a uterus because you had a hysterectomy.
No, I didn't. I never had a hysterectomy. I've never claimed to have a hysterectomy.
You did claim to have a hysterectomy. It's in your medical records. You told me you had a hysterectomy.
But I did not mean that.
I wanted to be sure, so we contacted a leading OBGYN, and they said, no, if you have to have a uterus to have uterine cancer. And you said that you have malignancy, a malignant tumor on your uterus, and you can't do that if you don't have a uterus to have cancer on. Okay, so then your cardiologist wrote a letter to your mother. This is from your cardiologist. He says 11/22. This is November of that year. Diagnosed with gastritis. Gastritis and carcinoid, you get a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And so he's writing here about that. It says malignant carcinoid, no such history. And she never mentioned anything about chemotherapy or radiation. And by the way, this serious heart problem, this is your cardiologist, serious heart problem, it's going to require surgery and you can't do any chemo because of your heart. He says atrial fibrillation is being controlled with medication. I don't see any evidence to support the notion of irreversible damage. Just not true. Do not have any indication for a pacemaker. Do not believe she would qualify for disability.
That was the one thing that my mom was wanting him to say in that conversation. I remember that doctor's visit. And I had just had a heart procedure, so I didn't understand how he could say anything like that because he didn't even do the heart procedure.
Then 9/23, again, you're admitted. She says her left ovary has been removed. Okay? Then they do a scan, and they say both ovaries confirmed by Doppler. They are unremarkable except for some small cysts. Uterus still hanging in and is otherwise unremarkable. So this is in the fall of 2012. You tell them at that visit, you say your left ovary's been removed.
I thought my left ovary had been removed.
How do you think your ovary's been removed?
When I had that procedure and I had all those things done.
All of what things done?
I don't know. My mom should have the list of what was done.
You have 2 ovaries and 1 uterus. You said you had a partial hysterectomy. This says you have...
That's what I thought it was. I thought when I had my partial hysterectomy, I thought that one of my ovaries had been removed.
Well, apparently you didn't have a partial hysterectomy.
No, apparently not.
And apparently you don't have stomach cancer.
No, if that's true, that's fantastic.
You would be like...
I'm extremely ecstatic if that is true, right? I agree. I am. I just don't believe... I mean, I heard it from a doctor.
You said on your tape, when I heard the word cancer, my life just stopped.
Did.
And I'm just taking that word away. So your life should just be restarting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been taking Norco and Xanax that you're buying on the street. This is Dr. Charles Sophie right here. Dr. Sophie is a board-certified psychiatrist. He prescribes these medications. He's the director for the County of Los Angeles Department of Child and Family Services. And talk about the common side effects of Norco and Xanax. If you take those and they sit in your stomach.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, they're highly addictive. You're out buying them on the street. Nobody's monitoring that. It's taking away emotional and physical pain for you. But all of those pills sit in your stomach, and as they're broken down to be absorbed into your bloodstream to go to your brain and give you the relief you're looking for, those chemicals are eating away like acid in your stomach lining, your bowels, your large intestine, and all of a sudden you're going to have now a reason to take more pain medicine. It's a bad cycle that you've created.
Could this explain the gastritis? Could this explain the vomiting? Could this contribute to those two things?
100%. You got to get off the pills.
You've been under the belief that you had cancer, and you're telling me you haven't even read your records. What the hell's going on here?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. They say their daughter's boyfriend hooked her on heroin.
She's OD'd 16 times!
Do you get it? Do you want help?
You cannot see him and live. This is done.
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided. I want to get your reaction to what I've had to say so far.
I'm in like a whirlwind right now.
You said you came here with a suitcase full of records, right?
Well, not full. I mean, I have a couple things.
You've read your records, though, right?
No, I've never read my records. I have a lot of records. I have records from many different hospitals.
Okay. Look, let's talk. You've been under the belief that you had a metastasized cancer, a serious heart problem requiring surgery and possibly a pacemaker. And you're telling me you haven't even read your records and haven't been to a doctor in a year. Now, come on, what the hell's going on here? You either know that what you're saying is not true, and so you hide behind confusion, or you don't know it, and you can't even wrap your head around it. So what's going on?
I don't know. I'm lost.
No, you're not. You know that none of this makes sense, right?
I do understand that it doesn't make sense. I do understand that.
If you thought you had cancer and learned that you didn't, you would be like, you just won the lottery, right?
Right, but I still don't even 100% believe you right now.
Do you believe you have cancer?
I don't know. I don't know.
Come on. The biopsy said you didn't have cancer. Your doctor said you don't have cancer. You told people you had a hysterectomy.
My heart condition is worse than what you guys think it is. I know it for a fact. I live it. I live it every day.
You haven't been to a doctor in a year. How do you know what your heart condition is?
Because I feel it. I feel it inside of my body.
So you've self-diagnosed?
I suppose.
Are you taking your medication for it?
No. I try to get my medications for it, but I don't always have the money.
Okay, so you're claiming conditions that everybody says you don't have. The ones you do have, you don't take treatment for. But yet you're out, you say, well, I can't get the medicine, but you're out buying drugs on the street. What? Come on.
No, you're right.
What's going on?
I don't
know is not an answer. Give me an answer.
I'm trying to think of an answer.
How about the truth? Just tell me the truth. Don't censor. Just tell me the truth. You told your kids that you have stomach cancer? Because if you've told those children that you're dying, you think it's fair?
This Monday.
In this area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. I want you to tell me the truth about what the hell's going on. You have a condition you're not treating, but yet you're out buying drugs on the street. You're claiming conditions that doctors say you don't have. I tell you you don't have it. I show you the records that say you don't have it. You say, well, I never read my records. You haven't read them, but I have. So you say, I wish I had a timeline. So you know what? I got one. ... You go, oh, well, gee, I don't know if I believe that. You wanted a timeline? I gave you one.
I don't know what you're asking me right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm like...
You're either lying to me or you're lying to yourself.
I'm not lying to anybody.
If you're telling yourself you have disorders and diseases you don't have...
Which I'm not.
So you believe you have these disorders.
Right.
You've convinced yourself you have them.
I mean, I haven't convinced myself. If you hear it from a doctor, you're going to take it for its word.
No doctor has ever told you had stomach cancer.
I sat in that room and I heard the word cancer.
You left the hospital before the results came in. So isn't it you that decided you had stomach cancer?
No.
Why would he do a biopsy and tell you the results before they came back?
What do you mean? I didn't get the results for 2 weeks after I got out of the hospital.
It's coming up on 3 years. Reckon you would have gotten a lot sicker in the last 3 years?
Yeah, I've been trying to keep myself healthy, but yeah.
Have you told your kids that you have stomach cancer?
My kids know that I'm sick.
That wasn't my question.
No, my kids don't know that I have stomach cancer.
Because if you've told those children that you're dying, that you have stomach cancer,
no, I've never
that's abuse.
I've never told them that I was dying. I've never told my children that I was dying. Never.
Did they see your GoFund page where you say, after the first year, I start the fight for my life?
Yeah, the older ones probably saw that.
Do you think that's fair to those children?
No, definitely not. I don't think
particularly when you're sitting there with a record in your house that says no malignancy, AFib under control with medication if you would just take it, no disability.
Well, I know that that's wrong. I mean, I feel it every day. Nobody can tell me any different. I know how my heart feels.
Mm-hmm. But you're not taking the medication.
I mean, I take the minimum of what I need in order to survive. I do take some.
You just said you weren't taking the medication for your heart. I asked you, are you taking the medication?
I don't take
you said no.
medication, but I take aspirin to keep my blood thin and things like that.
Okay, so you're taking aspirin.
Yeah.
So you have prescribed medication, you're not taking it, you just take aspirin. And you know your heart's not doing well. And you're not compliant with what's been prescribed. Is that fair to your children?
No.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk about what I think's going on. Closed captioning provided by Phil. Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
You know, there are a variety of possibilities that are going on here. The good news is that there's nothing in your medical record that suggests that you have malignancies. There's nothing in your medical records that suggests you are requiring heart surgery. Now, there may be things under the radar or that you have secret meetings with doctors about that you talk about that they're not writing down because your insurance won't cover it or whatever. I don't believe that for a second. I've never met one bashful about charging. I always go through a differential diagnostic process. If I were treating you, one thing we know is there's something known as somatic symptom disorder. It's characterized by distressing physical symptoms with abnormal thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in response to these symptoms. And they're unduly threatening and harmful. And people tend to think the worst about their health. So this is kind of the broad category. Then there's the consideration of illness, anxiety disorder. There is a preoccupation with having a serious undiagnosed medical illness. And even though somatic symptoms are absent or only present in mild intensity. And so these are people that just worry themselves sick about being sick. Then there are factitious disorder. The worst of is Munchausen's. And these are people that are characterized by falsification of physical or psychological signs or symptoms, and the induction of injury or disease in themselves or another. And then there's malingering, the intentional reporting of fabricated symptoms that's motivated by the achievement of money, avoiding responsibilities, or obtaining drugs. These are people that fake it for secondary gain. There are people who can and will help you get this under control. And I want to make you an offer of figuring this out. And toward that end, a good friend of mine, a colleague that I respect greatly, that I've known for an extended period of time, Dr. Kaligi, is right here. Dr. Kaligi, raise your hands so we can see you here. The handsome Dr. Kaligi. He is the founder and executive director of Creative Care. And they're located in Malibu, California. And these guys are world-class and world-renowned. They provide drug, alcohol, mental health treatment, care. And I asked Dr. Kaligi to be here today because I've asked him if he would talk to you and agree to take you to Creative Care and get to the bottom of these things with you to try to get you turned around so you can get to full functioning and health and happiness. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Because I would like to make that gift to you and to your family. Dr. Klee, can you help her?
Absolutely.
I think you can. A special thanks to Dr. Charles Sophie for assisting us today in the show. And I also want to take a personal moment to acknowledge all of those out there that have helped make my new book, The 2020 Diet, Turn Your Weight Loss Vision into Reality, #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. We've also had great fun with the new 2020 Diet app that provides all the diets, recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks that you need to maintain this diet. The results have just been crazy. You guys are having fun with this, and it's great to see how much weight you're losing in a healthy way. So, and everybody in the audience, I'm going to send you all home with a copy of 2020 Diet Show. All right, so thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much, guys. All right, thanks so much.